Hello and welcome to the Beat Brings Us Together podcast, the podcast that showcases the best DJs and producers and everyone working in the music industry that's doing brilliant things. Big thank you for your continued support and people listening to the show. We're now on to episode 3, and this week I was joined by Ali, an incredibly musically talented individual, superb DJ, wicked producer and head honcho at Record Events. He had some wicked things to say on this show, and I've known him for a few years and he's just a great guy. Great to see him again. So enjoy! And just before we get into the podcast, I wanted to tell you a little bit about our event coming up. So it's with great excitement. We have our first Beat Brings Us Together party, and I felt like to kick off the new series we need something to go with it, and I thought it'd be a great way for talented artists and people involved in the music industry, especially in Birmingham, to meet up and make some new connections. Got some cracking musical night as well. We've got Nikki Tesla from Selects to Heard and Brum Radio. We've got Ali, head honcho at Record, of course, on this podcast. We've got my good friend Mexfer, and of course myself playing as Sanu K, a little new alias I've got now. Wicked vibes all night, sort of deep house party, lo-fi feels. It's going to be Friday the 21st of Feb, and it's going to be held at Cafe Art. I'm up on Corporation Street in Birmingham, and we're kicking it off early at 6 p.m, so it can be a real chilled start to the evening, and it's going on till 1 a.m. I'm just really excited to be throwing something like this. It's been a bit of a journey with the podcast, and it's seen a bit of a natural progression to take it from a podcast to something in the real world to bring us together. And anyway, I hope to see a lot of you there, and I look forward to it. Okay, back with the third podcast, and Ali joins me this week, my good friend. I've known him for many a years. Saw him sleeping in the back of many a DJ booth. Well, I'm probably half awake myself, with a lot of drinks in me as well. Good to see you, mate.
How's it going, mate? Are you all good?
Yeah, very good. We haven't seen each other for a little while now.
It's been a little while. Yeah, so when you mentioned me being asleep in the back of a DJ booth, what?
I took you by surprise there, haven't I?
Was that part in Oxford?
It was, mate, yeah.
Well, I can't remember what it's called now. It's the first event that I ever put on.
It was food.
Food, yeah. I was going to say it was something to do with food, but it was just called food, wasn't it?
It's actually, it was wicked, that was.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't know what I was kind of thinking, putting on a party in a city that I've never actually been to before, but that was Rob Quinn coming through with all the uni pals.
What a linker.
But yeah, that was a success.
Yeah, I think it shows. Mm-hmm. Sort of, oh yeah, man, that's really weird, man. You've took me back a bit now. Mm-hmm. Even though I brought that up in my mind, I forgot, the sort of stuff. It's been, when was that, 2013 or a bit earlier? Or was it 2014?
I think it was 2013, yeah, because I was 19. It was Rob's first year at uni.
Yeah. You were 19?
Yeah.
Man, you see, I think all you guys, from a certain way, you all seem quite mature.
Yeah, well, at the time. Well, you say that, and then I was asleep behind the DJ.
Yeah, but because you've done a good job, man, you know what I mean? I think that's a bit fair enough. Mm-hmm. I don't know why there was a bench behind there to sleep on anyway, but well, for that situation, isn't it?
Good job there was. That's at the Cellar in Oxford, I think.
So cool venue, actually. Is it still there?
No idea.
No idea.
I think I went to that night out in Oxford, and then the second one that we did, and then I never went back to Oxford.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get into it. We've come in early, by the way, so we were both just brushing off the cobwebs this morning.
Yeah, I'm a little bit tender.
Ali's a bit tender, right?
I had a staff night out. Christmas party a couple of days back, so yeah.
Late Christmas party, but
that's one.
Yeah. You're still getting off. It's been a month since Christmas, but
yeah, it's one of those, I suppose. If you're working within music events, that kind of thing, then Christmas period it's super busy for you, isn't it? It's the same as working in a bar, restaurant, that kind of thing.
Yeah, it gives you a bit of easier recovery time. You haven't got to go and see a million family the next day.
Yeah, that's it, exactly.
All right, well, let's get into it then. Mm-hmm. So can you kind of get a grasp on where your first experience of music was? I know you're quite a musically talented guy outside of the electronic music world as well, so it'd be great to see what your first experiences were.
Yeah, so I quite lucky that my whole family basically is really into music. My mum's side of the family, my granddad Mike, he writes a lot of music himself. Still plays in a rock and roll band.
Nice.
So obviously that kind of influenced my music taste from quite a young age. So I was obviously into not your average like pop music that say 7-8-year-olds were into. I was into a lot of older stuff, which then kind of gave me that passion really early on. And then on my dad's side of the family, my great uncle Long was in a band called the Masonettes.
Cool.
They had some like really big hits, one called Heartbreak Avenue, and I think everybody in that side of the family all play guitar, play like lovers sing like, when everybody gets together at Christmas.
Oh really?
So, like, everybody gets
That's
a guitar.
so nice, man.
Yeah, it's cool. And then one of the youngsters, Josh and Toby, and my two cousins, Josh is super talented on the guitar now as well, and at piano, and he plays drums. He's an amazing drummer. So I think it's kind of in the blood a little bit.
Yeah, and you play yourself?
So I play guitar, play a little bit of piano, but I was in bands from when I was like 10, basically.
Yeah.
Playing guitar, and then I used to do some solo stuff as well. I played at one of my mum's best mate's wedding as they were walking down the aisle when I was like 12.
No way, that's so much pressure.
I played, what's it called? Damien Rice song, proper cheesy one, Cannonball.
Yeah. Getting people weeping, were you?
That was it. Yeah, I was like making people cry. So it was quite a good like introduction to how you can make people feel and how you can like bring emotions out with music, kind of thing.
Yeah, it's already an emotional situation as well, and you just taking them over the edge.
And you've got some like cute 12-year-old kid just like smashing it on the guitar as well, playing a Damien Rice song.
Oh mate, that's impressive, man.
Mm-hmm.
So like, what brought you towards electronic music then? Because it seems quite a stretch away.
So I think I stayed then. I was in bands till I was kind of like 16. Yeah. I was in a band called Average Male, which is like kind of like punky, rocky ska stuff. But the mates that my pals that I was in the band with, I was like heavily influenced by their music taste outside of the rock stuff. So they kind of started listening to drum and bass really early on. So
cool.
Like the more commercial stuff, which obviously led into like Netski and Chasing Status.
Yeah.
From that kind of drum, like first getting into drum and bass, then got into like dubstep, which is like kind of how I met you really, and how I'd heard of you, because I don't know if anybody knows listening, but Luke was a like big dubstep guy back in the day.
That's right. You can say that.
Yeah. But yeah, so like obviously from that, I think that's how I kind of progressed out, just from obviously being in band, but always being surrounded by people whose music taste was like super varied.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think that's been a running theme on this podcast, man. Everyone's had a different sort of way into music. Mm-hmm. I know obviously everyone probably listens to music and enjoys it, but actually to like start to get involved in it, especially on the way to electronic music, everyone's journey is so different. Mm-hmm. It's so varied. But it's always interesting to see people when they've played an instrument and how that journey's led into it. Yeah. Do you still play?
Yeah, I play all the time. So I don't really play out. It's something that I would actually kind of quite like to get back into. I want to get a loop pedal and do some like solo creative stuff like that. But I play at the moment just as a kind of like stress relief down and turn my phone off. And it's like I can play my guitar and kind of like just not think about anything for half an hour. I don't learn any new music. There's something that I do want to pick back up. I've been playing the same songs probably for like the last 10 years.
I think I do a very similar thing.
Yeah. I think that's it. With people who play guitar, you know your songs that you learn when you were really into it.
Yeah.
To pick it up now, although it's easier to learn now because there's like apps.
True. Technology's there.
Yeah, the technology is there to just file. I used to have to go to the library and print off the chords and the tabs.
Oh man, that's impressive that you did that.
Yeah, I used to have a fat stack of music, which I don't have anymore.
Oh man.
But yeah, it's just on your phone now or on your iPad, a lot easier.
Do you think it's funny that I said like not funny? It's nice that you said you use it as kind of a stress relief thing. I think I do something quite similar.
Yeah.
Do you think with because we'll get into your productions in a bit, but producing and DJing and playing music with like physical instruments, or I know some people do in between playing live.
Mhm.
Do you think you connect differently, like emotionally, to both, or you do connect emotionally but in different ways?
I'm not too sure. I think it's a pretty similar feeling. Like with obviously when you're DJing, you're only thinking about the music that's playing at the time. There's nothing else going through your head. So I think the feeling that you get like that, the emotion that you get, it's exactly the same across the board. Or for me, it is anyway.
Yeah, cool, man. Interesting. I guess maybe the main difference would be sometimes you're DJing for the crowd,
Yeah.
whereas maybe we're playing music in bands and stuff. You've already pre-written the music, often the set list as well.
Yeah.
And maybe they're experiencing your emotion on stage. It's kind of
I think
swaps it around, but same emotions, but swaps a little bit.
I think when like playing in a band and playing on stage is almost like, okay, we practiced, and the whole aim of it is just to get to the end of the set without messing up. Because obviously it's more difficult. Whereas I maybe that's where, like on the performing side of things, DJing I prefer because one, you're doing it as you're making it up as you go along, kind of thing. Well, I do anyway. I don't really plan it in my sets. Well, I plan them to an extent, but I haven't got I'm mixing this tune out at 1 minute 40 and I'm bringing this next one in. Whereas when you're obviously in a band, there's not that room to improvise as much, which I just don't think is as fun. You, like I said, you are playing for the crowd to make sure that your band looks good.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Interesting, man. I'm trying to hear your take on that from someone who's lived in both worlds.
Yeah.
So we talked about how you progressed into electronic music. Where did your step into DJing and production come from?
Yes, I think I did music tech at school.
Cool.
So the production side of things, I just took that because I was into music and had music in the title. So I just thought, and I didn't want to do actual music at A level, just because obviously it's like a very classically influenced. So yeah, I did that, and then I basically got the basics of how to use Logic. And in my spare while I was supposed to be kind of doing whatever the curriculum was, I'd just be like trying to make beats. And actually, one of our mutual friends, Steve, he was in the class. He used to make drum and bass. We did music tests together.
Oh,
actually.
cool, man! I didn't know that.
He used to make drum and bass, and then, like I said, started making dubstep. And actually, probably not something I've not really thought about before, but seeing him, somebody our age, being like, oh, actually, there's somebody our age who can make the kind of cool music that I'm into, influenced me to get into it. Probably, yeah. So obviously having music tech there as like a base. Then when I left school, when I started getting into DJing, I basically just got into DJing because I was going to raves all the time, and I just wanted to be a DJ, or I wanted to DJ at house parties, so I bought like a little controller. Yeah. Super cheap Newmark thing, which like I think most people start on.
Pretty decent though, to be fair, those Newmark controllers, man.
Yeah, so I think I'm actually going to get one because I basically could do with something just to be able to record mixes or do digital mixes at home without...
I bought one and sold it, and I'm like, I wish I hadn't sold it now.
Yeah, so I think I might actually get one of those again. But then obviously DJing for 5-6 years, you get to the point where I'm like, I do kind of know how to produce from, like, obviously not to the extent that I'd like to be able to, but I know the basics from school, and all it took was getting Logic back again. Yeah. And kicking things off. So.
Sweet. So are you producing on Logic?
I don't actually produce on Logic anymore, no. Start of last year, I had a disaster with my Mac, so I lost all my Logic projects, and I got a new computer, and the new computer I got had Ableton on it. And I just had to sit there, and I was really lucky. A guy called Dave Ridgely, who I lived with at the time, he was a wizard on Ableton. Yeah. So I could basically sit down, try and make a song. Everything that I could do on Logic that I couldn't remember, I didn't know how to convert into Ableton. I'd just ask him, and he'd just tell me how to do it. So kind of knew like the process of making music. And then when it came to getting Logic back, I was like, actually, I'm putting stuff together so much faster on Ableton. The creative side of it, I think, it's easier to use. It's more fun, I think, to make stuff on Ableton. I mean, that's my opinion. Sometimes because I've got Logic now, sometimes I'll make my stuff on Ableton and then I'll take it back into Logic to mix it down, just because, like I said, some of the stuff that I learned at school, so like the mixing down techniques, I know how to do on Logic basically.
Okay.
So yeah,
interesting, man. Yeah, I mean, personally, I use Ableton too now. I switched over about a year ago.
I was going to say, yeah, it's funny when you make that switch, because you've got like it's not long, is it? You've maybe got like a month or so of being like, oh, I wish I was still on Logic, or I wish I could do this. But once you realise the features that are on Ableton, I think because it's designed for dance music more than
for sure,
like Logic, which I think is, well, it's just a general production software.
Yeah. Well, it'll do everything when you like bands on Logic. You can record anything. It's very linear. It's great for making electronic music as well. But I just always find with Logic, like I feel like you need to have a real clear view of what you're making in your head. Yeah. So you know what it's going to end like. I find it's very difficult to start making changes. I know you can do that, but the way I was working.
Oh, you mean, kind of halfway.
Once you do the project, I need to make a change to something. You're like, oh, damn it, it's going to take quite a lot of work to make a change in Ableton, you know? Yeah. Click a button, you've changed the kick drum, you've changed something else.
You can switch everything up a lot easier.
And it's there, it's quick. Like, get a drum rack up, you got your samples, drag and drop. It's so quick. There's no messing around.
I feel like you can put a track together, obviously not the best track in the world, but you could put a track start to finish together in like 10 minutes if you wanted to, because you got your drums and then it's just drag and drop, and looping it is so much easier. Yeah, the loop,
for me, the loop function is what I enjoy. It depends how you work, like all these DAWs, they all really do the same thing. Yeah. But I love creating like the loops. And you can even like space the arrangement out just on a loop screen. Yeah. For anyone who's not used Ableton, by the way, it's like, it does work in a linear fashion like Logic or Pro Tools or anything else. But it also has like a screen of live functionality, see? So imagine loads of buttons and you're just pressing each one to play your drums or your bass, which kind of like, that's fun. Do you ever use that as well?
Yeah, I do that. So I've just got like a pretty hefty MIDI keyboard with a load of pads and stuff, so I can kind of feel like I'm doing almost a live thing. Yeah. Which is something I'd like to get to the point to be able to actually put together a proper live set. But it's that fun of improvising your track as you're making it. Instead of you can't, like, not just pressing play like you would on Logic and then listen to your song through. You can kind of build it as you go along. Yeah, I do love. I love it, man. I'm in love with it. I'm still. I've just got my computer back, so you would have thought I would have learned from last year when it all went wrong, and I broke my last Mac. So I backed everything up on my new one, obviously, onto a hard drive. And then over Christmas I had a party. And someone spilled a drink on my hard drive, so my hard drive broke. And then started last week, I turned my Mac off and turned it back on, and it just wouldn't turn back on, wouldn't start up.
Oh, I heard you had some trouble, mate. I didn't know it was that bad.
Yeah, it was a nightmare. So I got it back yesterday. And it's fixed. Yeah. So
mate. Oh, that's good news.
Absolutely buzzing. Yeah, because it sent me back a fair bit. But I think I was just like, you can't buy back productions. So like, if I'm going to spend the money on it now, then let's just do it and just grit my teeth. It's just difficult. It's annoying that it's in January when I've got no money anyway. But I got it all back, and then I was listening to the music last night, and I was like, I spent like 300 quid on this one song basically because I didn't want to lose it. And then I was like, I had a few more pals around last night, and I was like, you know what? It's kind of worth it, like, because I can move. Hopefully, I can play that out eventually. And it's going to sound good, and then I'm going to be like, right, it was worth it. For a good crowd reaction.
Yeah, well, for sure. You know, you might make that money back, tenfold.
There we go.
Chart banger.
Yeah, that's it, man. It could be the one tune that just makes it.
Yeah. Well, mate, I'm loving the productions you've been putting out.
Yeah, cheers, man.
Cause you've had a few, you've been putting them out on your Bandcamp.
Yeah, so I'd had a few releases last year and the year before on a couple of different labels, Woo Ball Recordings, which was like my first ever EP. Yeah. Which was still got one of my favourite songs on there that I've done, and also had a remix from OD, who is a wicked producer and really sick DJ, and a really sound geezer as well. I had that, and then had a couple releases on Dan Thomas's label, who is a alias his initial.
Okay.
But the label Blue Park Records. Really cool, like super minimal stuff.
Yeah.
But then I started kind of putting out music that I didn't really feel fitted with any of the labels that I wanted to push, like that I was sending my music to.
Yeah. Okay.
So I was kind of more into making like kind of breakbeaty, like really warpy, almost like bassliney, housey stuff. And I just thought, well, I'm playing it out all the time. I've sent it to most of my friends. And if I can just whack it on Bandcamp, it's quite nice to. Also, you get like pretty much 100% of the money that comes away. So it's nice if I can make like even if I make a tenner off your own music. It's quite nice. But yeah, just Bandcamp as a platform is amazing. I think it's better to use even than SoundCloud. I listen to music on Bandcamp now. I do want to kind of maybe turn that page into a little bit of a label, so it's trying to like release some other people's music on my Bandcamp kind of thing.
Yeah, I'd love to see that, man.
Or definitely get some remixes done, that type of thing. But yeah, I'm working on actually at the moment. So this is kind of why I needed to get my Mac back. So for the last 3 years, I've been working on this. It's like a kind of 12-track mix. Comes to about an hour.
Oh mate, that's serious.
So yeah, like I said, I've been just tweaking it and kind of finishing off. It's more of an album sounding thing, so it's got like a big kind of soundscapey type intro.
You've really got to. You've really managed to have a bit of a play with when you have a 12-track.
Yeah, that's it. So my plan is to release that just as a mix, as a continuous thing, and then put out there, depending how it goes down. Obviously, if people are feeling it, then either put out there all these tracks that are unsigned, like labels come get me, or just whack them all on Bandcamp. That's something I'm kind of working out at the moment what to do with it.
Yeah. So, mate, I'd love to hear this.
Yeah, definitely.
I'll
send it over to you. I'll send you over where I'm at with it at the moment.
Okay.
But yeah, so imagine this time last week, I thought I'd lost the whole thing.
I can see your peril now.
Yeah,
wow, it's not just like one tune; it's everything.
Yeah, it was something that I'm like. It's basically like me in an hour. So
yeah,
it should be cool to get that out.
That's flipping amazing, man. That's really cool to hear. Thanks.
Thank you.
Have you told anyone else this?
Yeah, I've told a few people. I've had people saying like, "Come on, Ali, when can you send it over to me?" But I don't really want to send too much out without it being to the point where, because obviously, if you are just putting out, you've got to get people to commit to listening to an hour, start to finish. Listening to a mix is one thing when you're playing other people's tunes. When, if you know, I'd say I like your music taste and I'm going to listen to one of your mixes because all the tunes in that are going to be good. Because, but with your own stuff, I think it's difficult to find. It's difficult to get your support from people and to get your tracks heard.
Yeah.
So I think if I am going to get somebody to commit to listen to an hour of Ali's shit, basically, then I want to make sure that it's as good as it can be.
Wicked, mate. Well, I hope that goes well because I'll certainly be a listener anyway. I'm big on Bandcamp as well, mate. I love it. Same here, really. I've been using it a lot. It is kind of like the better version of SoundCloud in a way, just because the exposure is so much better.
Yeah.
And the music's so cool, man. Like you find music. I often go there because sometimes I get a bit frustrated with some of the other platforms. Not because of what they put up. They're putting up like the big music, so a lot of it sounds similar, but in the right reasons. If you're looking for disco, you want disco, but if you're looking for some weird stuff, it's harder to find. I have to find so many good tunes on Bandcamp because it doesn't, like you were saying really when you're saying you were trying to send it to label and you think, oh, this doesn't really fit with anyone's particular sound. Often that's the music I really want to hear and listen to, just stuff that isn't quite the same as what's going on. It's such a good, and I find it such a good platform to
it's really cool. I think like I struggle finding music outside if it's not on vinyl. Finding stuff that's just like on Beatport, I feel like really difficult. You can't, for the kind of music that I'm into anyway, just searching the genre doesn't really work for me. Got to know the artist. So for discovering new stuff, Bandcamp's good for that because a lot of the stuff, it's like vinyl releases are also available on Bandcamp. If you know what I mean? But not a lot of the time available on on like Beatport or Juno, whatever else you use.
Yeah, man. All I seem to do is buy vinyl on
Yeah.
Bandcamp. But it's cool because you get the digital as well often.
Yeah,
which
that's
is, don't want to be sitting there ripping things all day.
No.
It's so annoying. Well, so I know. I guess you kind of talk about your record label. Do you want to go into anything more there, or we got to kind of leave it there at the minute? Is under wraps.
Yeah, I'm gonna leave it there because I don't even know what I'm gonna call it yet.
Cool. Okay.
And I have not really any vision for it. It's just I want to start a label.
Yeah.
I did start a label called Distinct Records a couple of years back. I learned a lot from that. The music, it was real minimal stuff.
Yeah.
Had some really cool producers on it. Some of the guys are doing really well now, like After Hours. He's got his own label, Loopy Records now.
Wicked.
So it's cool to get him on an early release. I had OD again, and then my pal Ellis from London. But I learned from that what I need to not do this time round.
Yeah.
But it's just not at the point of me even putting it out there yet, basically.
Yeah. Okay, cool, man. There's a lesson there for everyone as well. Like, go and do stuff and learn what not to do. Like,
exactly. Do it and then do it again.
About it. Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Do it again better.
Do it again better. Yeah. Like, you're only going to learn by doing stuff in this industry, really. And maybe just do it under a different alias so no one knows who you are the next time round. Sometimes.
Definitely.
Depends how bad. Depends what you've done.
When you've got to change your name and move city.
Move city. All right. Well, this kind of brings us to some of your own club nights that you run. Very successful as well.
So been lucky enough to run Record as a party. Started kind of 5 years ago. It wasn't actually originally started by me. Started by a group of students who started it at Amusement 13. I kind of got brought into that as somebody who was doing. I had my own party called Topic Sound at the time.
Yeah.
So it was almost bring me in because I've got like the local crowd, whereas the students were bringing the students in, and we kind of worked on that together. And yeah, so obviously those guys have kind of moved on now, and I run the party a little bit more kind of sporadically. So we do it maybe like aim for bi-monthly, but last year I think we did 3 events last year. It's quite nice to just do it now though as like a passion thing, and getting all my mates to come down for a party, not trying to whack out a student night every couple of weeks, which is how it started. It was a bi-weekly thing. Going on like the opposite nights of Tech 2 basically. It's quite nice to do it for fun and bring in, I'm just booking artists now who I really want to see in Birmingham.
Yeah.
Not trying to book artists that I just know are going to sell a load of tickets. So yeah, we've got incoming, our next party's at the Hare and Hounds in King's Heath, which is like one of my favourite venues. It's super intimate.
So cool. Love that venue, man.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. It's just a nice pub downstairs. And then it's just mad because you can have a crazy rave on top of the pub upstairs. But I just like the friendly attitude there. It's also, I can walk home, which is quite nice because I live in Moseley now. But that party, so we've got a guy called Harry Wills coming over, who is at the moment like my favourite producer basically. So I think it would be really cool to bring him to Birmingham, and like I know his sets are just ridiculous, to show him basically off to like all my mates kind of thing, and be like, I've booked this guy. That's what I quite like about running events basically, is you can say, right, I've got this person, I really want to see him. Let me show you how like good he is basically, or good she is.
I love what you're doing with that, mate, because the past events you've been doing are so good. Like it does come across that it's like you're super passionate about it, and that's what you want to do with it.
Yeah, definitely. I think like obviously I live and breathe it. Sometimes I also get sick of it sometimes because it's stressful as anything running events, especially if you're going for like the much bigger bookings. We did a party a couple of years back with Nick Curley, which is obviously big international DJ, and there's quite a lot of pressure for you to do well on the night because you're risking your own kind of funds and stuff as well. Yeah, and sometimes you're like, I could just do with. Oh, sorry, turn that off. Used to just like, I could do with not having a party on this weekend. I just want to go home after work on Friday and just go to bed and not think about events or raving. But yeah, it's cool.
So I know you're a bit of a vinyl whiz. I know you're a vinyl collector, and I've seen you do some vinyl only sets as well. I've never seen you play on vinyl.
Yeah. So I started playing vinyl only really like a couple of years ago when I got first set of decks. I just, like I said before, with the like Bandcamp stuff, I think being able to find music on vinyl for me is easier. The kind of music that I'm into. Yeah. So it got to the point where it's like I have to learn to play it because else I can't play all my favourite songs. And like you said, ripping vinyls, it's long. And
it is, man.
It's just not quite the same.
So many good tunes are.
Yeah. The sound I just think of ripped vinyl is just not quite there, is it? It's not quite 100%.
It's you mixing between digital and a digital rip.
Yeah.
Vinyl. It's weird.
It's like kind of, it's almost there.
Yeah.
But like when you're playing it out, you wouldn't want to play it on a massive system, basically. No. So yeah, I just kind of had to learn. I had CDJs as well at the time, and I'd end up having a mix, and then I'd just end up playing on the CDJs because I couldn't mix vinyl. So then one of my mates was just like, you just need to sell your CDJs, and then you've got no choice if you want to have a mix, and you've got to mix vinyl. And I did that, and I got to the point. I'm not saying like I'm a wizard on vinyl at all. It's difficult, really hard to mix on vinyl. I think something does click and you can eventually put two records, like get them to the same BPM. But I think I've at least got to the point now where I can play records that I really enjoy.
Yeah.
Which I wasn't able to before. So I've only really started playing vinyl in the last kind of 6 months.
Cool, man.
But yeah, it's exciting and it's drains all your money, but there's not like a better feeling really than mixing in a track on vinyl and getting them to the same tempo and then mixing it in. It's just like and you've accomplished something. Obviously it's kind of easy on CDJs. Yeah. I've taught my little sister who is 10. And she can actually mix.
Yeah, I mean, you come from a very musically talented family though, so I mean, maybe they've got a bit of an edge on other people.
Yeah, maybe.
I've recently started learning myself, and I sort of got the hang of it now. I flipping love it, man. Yeah, absolutely love it. For me, it kind of you say CDJs, but like the older CDJs, it's kind of like you got to unteach yourself. Using digital stuff because it's so quick now because it's got the tempo reader and everything. Yeah. But before, I guess tempo reader just wasn't accurate. So you would have to do, except for physically move the vinyl and like put the needle on and stuff. The technique was very similar, find your tempo, bring it up and down so they're starting matching.
Yeah, I think on them old CJs, which I bought off you actually, first set of decks. That was like 5 years ago, 6 years ago, a while ago, like man. First set of decks got off a few, but yeah, they were a nightmare to mix. But I suppose if you learnt on them, then maybe going into vinyl was a little bit easier than somebody nowadays who just learnt on a controller or just learnt on.
I can see that being so difficult.
DJs. Yeah.
I think my first ones I had were like, you clicked on a thing and it opened from the top. It didn't have a jog reel. You put the CD in, popped it down, had a pitch bend button.
CJ 100s or something.
Yeah, so similar to those. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend those for anyone. Get some vinyl though.
Yeah.
Practice. Someone who gave me my first lesson. Oh, it's going to really know. Nina, Nina, I don't know what her name alias she wants to use, but I think it's Nina Wild.
Nina Wild.
Let me double check.
Not too sure.
I haven't spoken to her in a little while. I better double check because
what, she taught you how to mix?
She taught me how to mix. Vinyl. Oh, yeah. Sweet. Okay. So Nina Claire Wild, she's on Facebook if you want to get her.
Oh, sweet.
Get a lesson, but
there you go, guys.
Yeah, man. She was. I thought, I don't know if I'm allowed to lose your name or not, but it's on Facebook. I'm sure it's fine.
I think it'll be fine. You're promoting her, her skills. You're telling everybody she's a good vinyl DJ. Like, who wouldn't want people to know that?
Yeah, that's it. But yeah, she gave me a lesson. It was sick, mate. Yeah, and got into it since then. Flipping love it, man. But when are you playing? Are you doing vinyl only, or do you do like CDJs and vinyl sometimes, depending on the night?
I'm doing both at the moment, just because I'm playing obviously quite a lot of my own music out.
Yeah.
And I haven't got that pressed to vinyl yet. Obviously, that's like my biggest goal for this year is to try and get some bits pressed to vinyl.
Wicked, man. Yeah.
That would be really cool. I thought about maybe with the potential label doing it myself. Obviously, it's quite a costly thing getting your stuff pressed.
Yeah.
And it'd be nice to get it pressed on a different label, not just being like, all right, nobody's signing my stuff, so I'm gonna make my own records.
Oh, I'd love to see you out on a vinyl, mate.
Yeah, it'd be really cool. But so on our next party, 14th of February, Valentine's Day special with Harry Wells at the Hare and Hounds. I'll be playing vinyl then, so
Sweet, man.
If you make it down,
yes,
catch this up.
Love it, mate. Yeah. I mean, we've given a lot of advice now, but what would you think was your biggest advice you give to other DJs and producers out there, and I guess event promoters as well?
Yeah, I think with event promoters, don't bite off more than you can chew, because you've got to remember, especially if it's a big financial, personal risk, don't assume that because you've booked a big name, your party's going to smash it. There's so much into it. Be prepared for being ridiculously stressed out, and having a whole week of butterflies before the party.
Yeah.
So yeah, for DJs, I'd say, unfortunately, there's a lot of networking and being out there, partying a lot of the time. Like, as much as you don't want to say that, if you want to get out there and get sets, you kind of have to meet people a little bit, because if nobody knows who you are, then you're not going to get sets, even if you're the best DJ in the world. Good
rule of thumb for any trade or any job.
It. I know people are always like, it shouldn't be about being a promoter on top of it, but unfortunately that's just how it is. And obviously once you get to the point where I'm not saying that just like DJ out, or if you want to DJ out, then like kiss ass with the promoters kind of thing, but just being out there and showing your face and showing support to people's events, because there's nothing worse. I get message requests all the time, and it's just like, hi mate, do you want to DJ for your event? And I'm like, you've never come to my event, I've never heard your music. Like, it's kind of polite to obviously, if you really want to play at my party that much, other than you've just sending a general message out to everybody, which is what you obviously are doing, what is the reason for that message other than for that reason? And then for producers, I would say biggest thing is do it not for other people. So completely forget about the networking side of things. Obviously, you got to push yourself online a little bit, but I think music as like an art is something that you've got to do for like the love of it yourself. You can't make music because you love the music, because not going to make. If you're trying to make a tune and you're going into it like, this tune is going to be the tune that makes me a big famous DJ, there's no point in that, because it's got no like passion behind it anyway. And music is made out of passion. So that would be my tips to those three.
Well said, Ali. Well said. That was brilliant. Definitely with the support thing, just support your mates, support people that inspire you, and support people who you think are passionate, because there's a lot of work to be had together. And I think I like working with people who are passionate, and who inspire me as well. That's the whole reason behind this podcast as well. A lot of it, if I don't know the person but I want to approach them, I make it an effort to get to know them before we do this, because I just don't see the point in doing anything if you're not going to get to know someone and support what they do.
Another like beauty of just kind of being involved within the music industry is you get to meet like so many sound people, and like majority of my like friends, people that will be my like best mates now, like lifelong friends, I've met loads of them just from being out, and like loads of people that I'm now good mates with from different cities, because I've gone to their party, then they've come to my party, and we've DJed for each other, or we've just ended up back at theirs after a night out kind of thing. I think that's just like a beauty that you should be happy exists, basically.
Yeah, man. Brilliant. So what would you say, to round things off, what would you say your like top music moment of like last year was?
I would probably say, so when we did a party with these lads that run Method Collective, which is it's Jack and Louis, they run parties in Manchester and in Birmingham. We did a couple of collab events with them last year, but the highlight was definitely when we did a collab with them on the Mill Terrace. We booked Gene on Earth.
Oh mate, I had a ticket to that. I was gutted. I couldn't come up. I was working.
Oh really? Oh, it's a nightmare. So yeah, I mean that was definitely my favourite. Like I took over the deck from Gene as well.
Oh man,
he's a bit of one of my kind of idols because just a wicked DJ and his productions are just exactly the kind of sound that I'm into at the moment. So for it to be such a successful party, have a terrace just full of people. And being able to take over from somebody like I said, one of my favourite DJs, and then drop straight into one of my own tracks I did, and it went off. So
did you? That's so cool. That's a good way to showcase your music.
Yeah, always. I think that's the plan. If you're going to take over from a big DJ, make it one of your own tunes.
Yeah.
Because if they're going to listen to one song that you've got, it's one of yours, then you never know.
Oh, mate, quality.
Mm-hmm.
I like how much confidence you have with music, because often I just I don't want to play my own music.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
No, I love playing. Well, I suppose confidence, you say, is maybe because I've had like 8 pints, because I'm always on later.
Yeah, that's a good helpful point.
Which is, it's cool. I think that feeling of playing your own music out to your own party.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I've created this moment that everybody seems to really be enjoying. So that's definitely last year's like number one moment. I'm hoping this year do some stuff up on the terrace as well, because it's like iconic venue when it was the Rainbow. Obviously, that's where I first started going. That's kind of why I'm into dance music, because I was going to the Rainbow when I was like 18, 19 kind of thing.
Yeah. Well, I hear this from people who aren't from Birmingham, like going back to uni now. Yeah. And I meet a lot of people like, oh, there are nights on the terrace coming up. And I'm like, oh, wow, you know about the terrace? Like, you've been? They're like, no, just heard good things. It's like, oh, wicked, yeah.
Oh, that space it's the best space in the world.
Yeah. Okay, then let's a little funny one just to bring things up. What do you think your most embarrassing moment is from last year?
All right, I knew this was coming. So one that I'm sure most DJs have done. I did to a load of people at PST after party in the morning. I stopped the wrong decks, and then I pressed the wrong button. And I turned the music off, and because I was pretty wavy, I was trying to put the music back on, but I had the channel down and it was not working. Then I played the wrong song, and that was it basically. Stopping the music and everybody going like, woo. It's embarrassing. It's the worst feeling. So it happens occasionally, and I'm hoping that now I will learn from that mistake and never do it again.
What can you do about it, man? Happens,
that's it.
There's so many buttons on there.
There's too many buttons. It gets
to a certain point in the morning, it's like, whatever, just play another tune.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, bro, mate. All right, man. Oh, well, thank you so much for coming on, man.
Cool.
It's been bloody nice to see you, and it's great to hear what you're doing. Look forward to this 12-track LP going out.
Yeah.
Hopefully on vinyl, maybe. Mm-hmm. We'll see.
Yeah.
And make sure everyone gets out to the Hare and Hounds on the 14th of Feb, man.
Definitely. Yeah, man. Thank you very much for having me down. It's super cool what you're doing here, man. What you're doing with this. So.
Thanks, man. Hopefully get a lot of people knowing about your journey as well, man.
Yeah, that'd be cool. Hopefully I'll be able to come back on in 6 months and say, release our mix. It's gone well. We've had a few parties since. They've gone well. And let's recap.
Yeah, man. Sweet. All right.
Cool.
Speak to you, man.
I'll speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
What a brilliant podcast. Pleasure having Ali on the show today. So much brilliant advice from him there for DJs, producers and event promoters alike. You know, go out there, be passionate and meet other passionate people who are passionate about music. Make sure you look out for his productions. They're really cool, like loads of cool experimental sounds in there. Especially looking forward to this 12-track LPs that he's looking to put out, and make sure you get down to the Hare and Hounds in Kings Heath, Birmingham for February the 14th. And I know I ask this every time, but if you could go onto Apple Podcasts, Spotify, SoundCloud, wherever you're listening to this, and just drop it 5 stars and a little comment if you could, I'd really, really appreciate it. And until next time, goodbye.